What's one misconception about you?
There are no misconceptions about me.
Why'd you move to LA?
Oh, for the kids.
Where do you go to relax in the world?
I like the Caribbean.
We talked about how bad Chomping was, but what about Armored Chomper? In my opinion, Armored Chomper is awful. Maybe even worse than Diddy. In order to truly compare the two, I think we need to go to where it all began. The early life of Sean Combs, aka Diddy. Sean John Combs was born November 4th, 1969 in Harlem, New York City. His mother, Janice Combs, worked as a model who organized fashion shows and as a teacher's assistant. His father, Melvin Earl Combs, served in the U.S. Air Force. He worked at a hair salon and was an associate of convicted New York drug lord Frank Lucas. So yeah, father of the year. Melvin Combs began working as a part-time drug dealer around, 1970, 1972, around the age of 33. And by that, I mean he was, shot dead while sitting in his car on Central Park West, which, it's no good. Combs also had a younger sister named Keisha, the two of which grew up in poverty, which kind of confuses me because his mom's a model who organizes fashion shows and his dad worked in the military. I mean, not including the drug dealing, but yes, that's a good point. He's also a drug dealer. How the f are you poor in a drug dealer? What I mean? That doesn't make sense to me. Maybe they mean after his father died. That'd make more sense. Combs said he was given the nickname Puff as a child because he would huff and puff when he was angry. Or maybe it was the copious amounts of cocaine. I don't know though.
And Puff, where did that come from?
I can't tell you that.
Diddy, aka Sean Combs, graduated in 1987 from Mount St. Michael Academy, an all-boys Catholic school in the Bronx. That's really ironic. All boys. Pretty sure Diddy loved that school. Combs later enrolled as a business major at Howard University in Washington, D.C. Then, he later dropped out of college in his second year. Though, while he was at college, Diddy was surprisingly known for throwing fun parties. And oddly enough, a couple of his classmates also recalled him using a belt to beat his girlfriend. I guess old habits die hard. Combs later became an intern at New York's Uptown Records in 1990, which kind of confuses me because how? I mean, I know Kanye got an internship, but he was actually talented. What the f did Diddy do? I'm not really getting that part. He just magically dropped out of college and got that internship? I don't think so, bruh. Later in 1991, held at the City College of New York, Combs promoted an AIDS fundraiser with Heavy D. But I want to focus on the irony of this. AIDS fundraiser with Heavy D and Diddy. Yeah, I'm not even going to make the joke, it's fine. Anyway, he was later fired from Uptown Records in 1993, which, yeah. Later in 1996, he actually started his rap career with his debut single, Can't Nobody Hold Me Down, which spent 28 weeks on the Billboard Hot 100. I have personally never listened to this song, so I'm going to listen right now and tell you what I think.
10 years later.
Alright, so not gonna lie with you, it's pretty good. Okay, but Puff Daddy, Diddy, is not all that bad. He has done some pretty charitable acts of philanthropy. For example, Diddy founded the Daddy's Home social programs. It was a program to help inner city youth. God damn it. Why is it always kids? It was an organization to help inner city youth. The program included life skills classes, annual summer camp, and tutoring. Later in 2016, Combs donated $1 million to the Howard University to establish the Sean Combs Scholarship Fund to help students who are unable to pay their tuition. And he also got an honorary degree. Although, later on June 7th, 2024, Howard University announced that it was revoking his honorary doctorate and they returned his $1 million donation. Because some not good things was going on with him, The Chicago mayor, Richard Daley at the time, actually named October 13th Diddy Day in honor of Diddy's charity work. Yeah, I would low-key probably take that away by now, but Now, there were some small lawsuits in Diddy's career, some of which being, in 2003, the National Labor Committee revealed that the factories producing the Sean John clothing brand in Honduras were actually violating Honduran labor laws. And this is the weird part. Workers were subjected to body searches, which that adds up for Diddy, and involuntary pregnancy tests.
Huh? Whoa, hey.
Some other small, light lawsuits. In May 2017, Cindy Rueda, who previously had served as Combs' personal chef, so she was really close with Diddy, which is probably not a good thing, she filed a lawsuit against him in the Los Angeles County Superior Court claiming, among a lot of shit, sexual harassment and retaliation. Later in 2023, Cassie Ventura, with whom, Diddy had been in a relationship with for a long time, filed another lawsuit against him on November 16th, claiming that he rapped, did sex trafficking, and and he physically abused her. Now, when I say rap, that's not what I mean. I can't say the actual word because, you know, that's not a good word, so I'm not gonna say that. And the lawsuit also suggested that Diddy blew up Kid Cudi's car. On second thought, maybe this one should go into philanthropy. If you heard that new Kid Cudi album, bro, maybe Diddy was doing a public service, you know?
What the hell?
If you're enjoying the video, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell, get notified when I upload. Anyway, carry on. On November 23rd, 2023, there was actually 2 further lawsuits filed against him, both about sexual assault, so yeah.
Meanwhile,
Diddy, who often attended his son's practices at UCLA, his son played football, he reportedly became upset after witnessing a strength and conditioning coach, Sal Lassi, verbally harassing his son Justin during a session. Now, what does Diddy do now? He confronted the coach in his office. Now, he used his words, you know what I mean? He did not use his words at all.
I'ma bust the coach's head open on some Diddy. If he ever talk to my son like an idiot.
They instantly got into a fight, and our reports state that Diddy grabbed and threw some hands with Lassi, which caused minor scratches and tearing on his shirt, which is light. That's not the main part. The main part, the caveat here, is when the staff intervened and like tried to get Diddy off him. Allegedly here, he picked up a kettlebell and just started swinging that shit at him, which is like... This is actually so funny. Eventually, he was arrested on June 22nd, 2015, charging with 3 counts of assault with a deadly weapon, the kettlebell, and 1 count of making terroristic threats. I don't know, and a count of battery. He was later posted with $50,000 bail and was released the same day because he's Diddy. He's fucking rich. $50,000 is like $20, bro. Let's be serious. Later, though, Diddy did claim that it was just self-defense, which, yeah, I don't think so. Diddy, aka Sean Combs, held a series of parties known as white parties, also known as the Diddy parties. Now, have you ever read Great Gatsby? I haven't either. I mean, I used AI to write an essay about it in the 11th grade, but that doesn't really count. But anyway, the Diddy parties were kind of like that, in a way. Diddy even himself said, I am Great Gatsby. In these parties, there were like, you know, it was a normal party. It was chill, you know. And they're also drugging women and, you know, sex trafficking. But light stuff. It mainly chill. It's mainly chill. It's fine. Now, they did say they drugged and coerced women into doing sexual acts, but... See, there's one part that I'm not sure I totally believe. It's not the drugging part, it's the women part. From what I heard, I've heard that Diddy likes him. Diddy don't discriminate, you know what I mean? He's swanging, bro. That's what I've heard, though, but like, take that with a grain of salt.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so. Yeah, that's what's up.
In 2025, the United States versus Sean Combs was a criminal case in the United States District Court for the Southern District of New York brought against American rapper and record producer Sean Combs. Did I say rapper? I meant rapper. Anyway, on March 2024, a bunch of federal agents seized Diddy's stuff, his electronic devices, like, you know, phones, tablets, computers, vibrators. They did all of this before allowing him to leave for his planned vacation. And then later the same day, they just raided all his fucking properties in Los Angeles, in New York, and Miami. They took the computers, other stuff, other electronic devices. While doing this, they actually found some crazy stuff like narcotics, ketamine, ecstasy, as well as, you know, 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. You know, clearly Diddy is into mechanical engineering, and that explains why he has all that baby oil, you know what I mean? It has to be the reason, yeah. I literally can't see any other reason, personally. September 16th, 2024, Diddy was indicted by a grand jury on sex trafficking by force, fraud, and racketeering. Oh, and transportation to engage in prostitution, which... That's no good, guys. Don't do this, guys. This is not good. He was later arrested by Homeland Security in Manhattan, and he was detained in the detention center in Brooklyn. Later, though, October 3rd, 2025, he was sentenced to just 50 months. I think he went down from like 5 life sentences to like just 4 years. It's not bad. The lawyer that actually defended him was Brian Steele, the same from the Young Thug YSL case. Anyway, now that we know who Diddy is and what he's done, I think now we can accurately, you know, compare him to the absolute horridity that is Armor Chomper.
10 years later.
Before we even start this next segment, not gonna lie to you guys, Puff Daddy, Diddy, there were some pretty clear signs that it was kinda, you know, like this. Let me give an example real quick. In his song, Can't Nobody Hold Me Down, I was listening to it the other day. I wasn't lying when I said it was good. And I heard, Puff Daddy said, you name it, I could claim it. Young, black, and famous, with the money hanging out the anus. What does that mean, Puff Daddy? What did you mean by that?
There are no misconceptions.
Anyway, now we're done with that, let's talk about Armor Chomper. Armor Chomper is one of the 11 variants of the most god-awful class in this game, Chomper. Now, why does Chomper have 11 classes? Citron doesn't even have that. Corn doesn't even have that. Maybe Pea Shooter. I think he has the most variants of any character in this game, and that's horrible. Armor Chomper has 215 health, and he does 45 damage. So you're probably thinking Dozy 3 of why do I think he sucks? The issue is, he has the mobility of a dead corpse. He has the mobility of prime Paul Blart. This guy is like, I think he is the slowest character in this game. Like, it's genuinely just, if your opponent is a foot soldier and he is 20 feet away from you, you're going to die 4 times over before you even get close to this guy. Like, I'm just saying, like, he sucks. But anyway, with all this considered, you know, with Diddy being, you know, who Diddy is, which is, you know, not a good person, but Armor Chomper being who he is, which also, you know, not a good person either. I gotta say, at the end of the day, I don't think this one is as tough as Chomp Thing versus Jeffrey Epstein. I think it's a lot more clear here. I think Armor Chomper is probably worse than Diddy. Yeah, if you have not liked, subscribe to get 3 for these videos, hit the bell button to get notified when I upload a new video, and if you could like this video, subscribe, and bye!